All right, all. Hey, I would like to welcome you and appreciate you watching this episode of Above the Confusion on Planet Earth. We're introducing this episode. This is a song by Rocket Club here out of the Twin Cities. Let's just listen to a little of this music before we get rolling.
Get a boat and set it on the water, and if it floats,
It's good stuff, guys. It's good
ride
stuff,
the river to the sea.
especially the words in it.
A good friend of mine, he's as crazy as they come, a businessman who's made himself a tidy sum. Everything just seems to fall in place for him.
Let me fade it down a little bit here. What I'm going to try to run through real quick here is just a little scenario in terms of why guests are important in terms of this project. Then a quick synopsis of the concept and what I'm trying to accomplish here. And finally, hopefully some examples of the difference between ignorant and informed. Again, these seem like abstract concepts, but they're so simple in my mind, I just want to show them to other people. So let me fade these guys out. First, let's crank them up.
Get a boat and set it on the water, and if it floats, ride the river to the sea. The whole wide world is gonna be waiting there to meet you. The pirates and the preachers, good old boys and senoritas, but they won't if you don't.
Well done, boys and girls.
Get a boat. I know a girl. She grew up half a mile from here. She spends her time
All right, so enough of
making
that.
daddy's money disappear.
I know that.
There ain't a bill or there.
I know you prefer to hear the rest of the song. So let's do that. Let's listen to the rest of the song. Then we'll. The rest of the podcast won't take long.
The other night down by the pier, and I said some things I knew she didn't want to hear. Like, how long do you plan to wait around? Because I know we all get lost before we're found. Oh, but the answers just won't walk into this town. You gotta get a boat, set it on the water, and if it floats,
Good stuff.
ride the river to the sea. The whole
Chris
wide
Hockey.
world is gonna be waiting there to meet you. The whole wide world, all of the pirates and the preachers. The whole wide world, the good old boys and senoritas, what they want if you don't.
Beautiful finish here. Beautiful. Listen to these lyrics. So profound.
This life's a trip,
Life's a trip.
with much to do, much to learn, a one-way trip. There ain't no ticket for return. So if there's something deep inside you dream to do, well, the best advice that I can give to you,
That's
is
great
to
advice.
get a boat,
That's
set
why
it
I'm
on
here.
the water, get a boat.
I'll teach you how to get a boat.
Ride that river to the sea, get a boat. Just set it on, get a boat. Ride that river to the sea.
Okay, for those of you listening to this podcast that do not know, that band is called Rocket Club. And it's Chris Hockey and the boys out of the Twin Cities metro area here. I highly, advise you checking them out because they've got a handful, if not a plethora of songs that good or better. So, whoops. Okay, we're dabbling into a new one here. Let's go, baby. What's she got to say? Let's go. I like this tune. It's a great tune. What's her name?
I don't know if God is real.
I don't know if God's
Does
real.
he breathe or does he feel?
He's
Does he
ineffable.
mind when I'm angry?
Yes, he's
Does
singing.
he even notice me?
Yes, he does.
I don't know if God is true.
Yes, he's true.
Is he me or is he you?
He's both of us.
Does he hear the words I say?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
I think I'll ask him anyway.
Great idea.
So please, God, I know you're so busy and it seems odd. It must make you dizzy when everybody just wants a little piece, a little piece, a little piece of you.
Get it? We all want a
Please,
piece.
Lord, I promise I'm not asking for the whole world. Just a little favor for a lost girl who wants to believe in something, anything at all.
That is such a beautiful song. I'm so sorry that I have to cut it out, but I'm going to give you something to believe in. Okay. So stay with me. If you don't know me, great. If you do know me, ignore me. But those of you that are reacting to some of the videos that are getting posted outside of YouTube, I appreciate that. Getting some emails and some interest, but they're all asking the same question, and that's basic clarification. So the premise is simply this. I'm saying that, listen, can we take our minds and raise them above the confusion on planet Earth? And the obvious answer is yes, of course. And when we do that, we get into frequencies where we discover that we all want the same thing, written exactly as Craig Finn put. We all want the same thing. We want a better world. We want to be free, those types of things. Sure, there's going to be dissent, but there's always dissent. Even if something's true, you're going to have dissension. So you got to ignore the dissension and recognize that we can rise above this thing. Okay. At least I can't see any reason why not. All right. So then anyways, the rest of the theory is if you want to read, there's a free book sitting here if you want to understand how I came to these conclusions, the research project. Okay, this is whittling it down, saying, listen, it comes down to these top 10 facts. We can compare the information in these facts with the 10 commandments of the Bill of Rights. We're talking about words and a narrative, and it's up to you to decide. You decide whether this thing's got warranted or not. Selfish Truth is basically why is the website called selfishtruth.com? Do you want to know? There it is. Okay. Most importantly, again, now here's, I skipped over this, but this is the foundation. Okay, if you dig into that, all right, this foundation is no different than Blexit or Black Lives Matter or the Catholic Charities Union. You know, it's simply a promotion of ideas that we hold to be valuable. Okay. Black Lives Matter is a concept that some people hold to be valuable. Blexit is the antithesis. It's the opposite side of that same argument, competing for the minds of Black America. But both of those are simply philosophies being pushed forward as foundations, of which the facts is obviously the exact same scenario. But most importantly is the podcast sign up. And again, I think people are reluctant to sign up, as I am, to sign up for anything. I mean, it means it's going to create an obligation, some commitment, accountability, all that bullshit, which makes it difficult to get guests, which means you're getting on the show here without a guest. But I'm telling you, I've got some emails that are coming in. People are taking advantage of the free book, and some of these people are stepping forward saying, I'll come on the podcast. All right. So the next thing I was going to do, that's the concept in general. This is the bottom line, is can we elevate the conversation up above the confusion on planet Earth? I'm going to show you how easy that's done right now. Okay. So moments ago, okay, I was on a website called Skeptiko. And this website is featured with Alex Sakaris. And I've got you here. Let me put on my readers. You can see what I'm showing here. Okay, if you look at what Alex Akiris has done here, if we go down, look at this: neuroscience and the spiritual, debating the nature of reality, right to be being right about no virus, free will in the moment. This is the now, the past, the future, and the now. Questions for the voice in your head, hypnosis, creating the super soldier, UFOs and Native Americans, UFO and ET. Okay, so the reason I'm showing you this, okay, is I was just looking at his year review here with Al Borealis. And I want to play the beginning of this thing for you. Okay, let's just see if hopefully you'll hear this. Let me turn this up.
On this episode of Skeptiko, a show about going away.
There you are. We were wondering when you'd show up.
Okay, this
And
guy.
a show about when to come back.
This is Al Borealis.
We can't make everyone aware. We just the default is everybody sleeping, and now I'm going to try to wake up as much as I can, and if I meet others on my journey who also seek that or has some ability to do that or has shown to do that to some extent, I'm going to hitch my wagon to that person as long as that's useful for both of us.
That first clip was from the wonderful Christmas movie Shutter Island. And the second was from today's guest, the one and only Al Borealis from Forum Borealis, who joined me, or I should say I joined him, to talk about 2022 year in review for both Skeptiko and for Forum Borealis.
All right, there we go. All right, so that conversation, that sentence right there, that I said his name wrong, it's Borealis. He explained in one sentence, okay, the premise of awakening. All right, this is why the churches are full. This is why mediums are busy. This is why people do drugs or hallucinogenics. Everybody's trying to become awakened. And awakened is another word for figuring this thing out. That's saying, wait a minute, we're under this some sort of blanket of deception here. And if we can figure it out, it means we're awakened. We've escaped it. And we're now in the frequencies, the awakened frequencies, are the frequencies of basically truth. Okay. So if you take that premise, it's pretty straightforward. It's saying it's called the Great Awakening, which is basically saying the world, human beings are asleep until they awaken and realize they're asleep. Their consciousness is not truly consciousness that's asleep. The world will never change. It'll continue to slide into the abyss. So what he's saying is 100% accurate because he's a bona fide scholar, and so is Alex Akiris. So we're not here to debate this. This is what we start with. What they're saying is completely real, and that is if the world gets awakened, it turns into be a different place. All right, that takes you back to this website that's saying, how do we awaken the mind? And the only way to do that is to escape the blanket of confusion on planet Earth. All right, so hence that's the theory behind it. Now, here's the comparison. All right, if you look at this conversation, now let me pull up a different conversation. All right, I'm going to go to, well, this is something here. Let's go to CNN. Okay, I'm going to put my specs back. I don't know what's doing here. I have a dream speech. What the heck? Must have hit something. Okay, so anyways, when I pull this up, you're looking at this conversation. All right, so this is the narrative that's happening on planet Earth. This is the narrative of the awakened. None of this stuff on planet Earth is complicated anymore because we're awakened. Okay, close aides to Mike Pence. Mike Pence, Trump, part of names and recognition, Republican Party, what be it? Okay, discovered a dozen classified marked documents. Do you have any idea what a classified marked document is? Okay, in the world we live in, there are people who've decided they get to have secrets from the rest of us. And they mark these secrets classified. These are the people we elect. or would be it, or work for us supposedly in what's called the deep and the dark state. And anything that apparatus does that they don't want the public who pays their salaries to know, they mark classified. So it turns out our boy Mike Pence had some of that information stored in boxes at his home in Indiana, materials turned over materials. Okay, so this is a phony fight. The people who don't like Mike Pence go to the same cocktail parties with Mike Pence. Okay, they're all part of. If you don't see in this world that there's no difference between the Democrat and the Republican Party and all the apparatus in Washington, other than the words they tell us, you're a fool. No offense, but you live in a sleeping world by which you need to be awakened. Okay, that's it. That's it for today's show. I feel better. Do you? All right, let's go back and we'll sign off with let's finish this one right here. All right. Okay. Turn this bad boy up. And I promise you, when the guest is on here, the logic I just presented to you is irrefutable. It has nothing to do with my opinion at all. That's something that Al Borealis or these researchers would agree with. That we need to simply elevate the conversation, the narrative, what do they call it? The discord. All right, enough of me. I'll finish the show when she's done singing. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Hey, do me a favor. Become a guest.
So busy and it seems all must make you dizzy when everybody just wants a little piece, a little piece, a little piece. So please, Lord, I promise I'm not asking for the whole world, just a little favor for a lost girl who wants to believe in anything at all.
See ya.